Let's talk about feedback, because feedback is one of the fastest ways that people lose confidence, second guess themselves, or shut down completely. Not because they can't handle feedback, but because no one ever taught them how to process it. This is Coach Laney, an attorney and executive coach, and I'll be absolutely honest with you. I used to hate receiving feedback, not because I thought I was above it, but because I didn't know what to do with it. I would leave conversations overthinking everything that was just said. Was it a criticism? Was I failing? Was I doing something wrong? I didn't know. Feedback felt heavy, confusing, and very personal. But that all changed when I participated in my organization's leadership program a few years back. For the first time, I was given the proper tools to process feedback, not emotionally, but strategically. I learned how to evaluate it, how to filter it, and how to turn it into action without letting it shake my confidence. And I promise you that shift changed everything. So here's the first thing I want you to understand. Feedback is simply information. It is not an identity statement. It is not proof that you're failing. It is not a measure of your worth. It is data. And data only becomes useful when it's processed and processed correctly. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make is trying to process feedback alone, especially when emotions are involved. But that's where a coach or a mentor becomes essential, because a coach or a mentor creates distance between the feedback and your self-worth. They help you to hear what's actually being said without distortion or defensiveness. Effective feedback processing starts with a simple pause. You don't need to respond immediately. You don't need to explain yourself. And you don't need to defend yourself in real time. You are allowed to say, "Thank you. I'd like time to reflect on this." That pause creates space between emotion and insight. Next, you want to separate delivery from content, because some feedback is delivered poorly. And that is unfortunate because the tone might be off, the timing might be wrong. A coach or a mentor can help you extract the useful insight without absorbing the emotional weight of how it was actually delivered. So ask yourself or ask them, what's the core message here? What part of this is actionable? Then look for patterns, not one-off situations. One piece of feedback is an opinion. Repeated feedback across different people or from different situations can be a signal. High achievers often overcorrect based on a single comment. That's where outside perspective protects you. A coach or a mentor can help you identify what deserves action and what doesn't. Next comes a critical step. Decide what's yours to keep, because not all feedback belongs in your growth plan. Some feedback reflects just someone else's expectations. It can reflect organizational culture, timing, or context. Personal preferences. Processing feedback with support allows you to evaluate it without self-betrayal, and to also understand what else might be at play. You're allowed to accept feedback without abandoning your leadership style or values. Once you've decided what's relevant, the next step is to translate that feedback into action, because feedback should lead to small, intentional adjustments and not a personality overhaul. That might look like adjusting how you communicate your priorities, creating systems to track and share your wins, asking clearer questions in meetings, scheduling regular reflection. And this is where coaching makes feedback useful instead of overwhelming, because you can work with a coach to come up with an actionable plan, small incremental steps for you to move forward. Finally, don't let feedback live in your head. Unprocessed feedback turns into rumination, and rumination turns into self-doubt. And self-doubt erodes your confidence. And I don't want anything out here eroding your confidence, because I want you to always level up with confidence and clarity. Leaders process feedback through systems and support, and not emotions. Feedback is meant to inform your growth and not shrink your presence. The goal isn't to be liked. The goal is to lead with clarity, confidence, and self-trust. And when you have the right tools and the right support, including a coach or a mentor, maybe both, feedback becomes one of your most powerful leadership assets. Not a threat, not a setback, but a guide. This is Coach Laney. And if this video resonated with you, click like, leave a comment. Let me know how you're processing feedback. Share the video with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe. And remember, give yourself grace, but never ever lower the standard. I'll see you next time. Take care now.